Aloha everybody! Today we're making Dak-Bokkeumtang. It's a spicy chicken stew. In season 4 of Bon Voyage, the boys were making their way across New Zealand, camping, interestingly enough, and one chilly night, Suga decided to make Dak-Bokkeumtang.
여기 배달 안 되냐?
예?
배달 안 돼 여기?
전화할까요, 형님?
컵라면 끓여면 끝낼 거 아니야?
치킨 3마리 시킬까요, 형님?
야.
Of course, there are so many countries around the world that have some sort of braised chicken dish that has tons of vegetables and cooks for a long time. It's just warming and delicious. Some of my favorites are coq au vin, which is French, and chicken and dumplings. I would say American, but you know, people make dumplings all over the world. One of my favorites that I just recently had that a friend had made was chicken pozole verde. Oh my gosh, it was so delicious. I don't know how many bowls of that I had, but it was yum. Of course, you've got chicken chili, chicken paprikash, chicken cacciatore. There's just so many chicken dishes, obviously, that get stewed or braised for long amounts of time. And it's just super delicious. And this is no exception. This Dak-Bokkeumtang, I'm gonna start making at least once a month. It is so good. I had some green onion left over, so I thought, you know what, I'll just chop it up and put it in the stew. It's literally a stew where you can put any type of vegetable in, and it'll be delicious. So I did. The recipe basically called for 2 regular sized potatoes, but I had these and I liked the color, so I went with them. Even though they're baby potatoes, I did decide to slice them in half just to shorten the cooking time. After slicing the potatoes, I rinsed them and then set them in cold water, because if you don't do that and you have to wait a little bit of time, your potatoes might brown, and that's not great. The only time brown potatoes are awesome is if you're deep frying them. A few years ago, I decided that I was going to start wearing gloves when I cut up chicken. It was mainly because it was just easier to take off the gloves, throw them away, and not have to worry about the salmonella poisoning soaking into my skin and things like that. Now, you may say, salmonella doesn't soak in your skin. I will have to respectfully disagree with you. There was a time when we had to debone, I want to say 200-300 pounds of chicken for this party that our family was throwing, and we were not using gloves. We were super careful not to eat or anything or touch our face while we were cutting up the chicken, but by the end, my sister, me, and my best friend, we were all ill. So let that be a lesson to you. Use gloves when you're cutting large amounts of chicken. Most people that grew up in Hawaii in the 80s and 90s probably remember the 5-pound box of bone-in chicken thighs. You also probably remember having to defrost it overnight and then having to debone it if you wanted it deboned. Generally, my family wanted deboned chicken when we were eating. Either way, we got pretty good at deboning chicken. This seasoning mixture was really good. I would say that it would be good for lots of different types of meats. For like a marinade or something, add a little bit more water and use it as a marinade. It was really good. and I loved it with the chicken, but I think this would be really good on pork too, and maybe even beef. It'd be really good. As I'm watching this, I'm really trying to decide whether or not I should have garlic bulbs like this or just buy already peeled garlic. What do you guys think? I don't know. I feel like this would be fresher, but I hate peeling garlic. I mean, it doesn't take much time, but still, it's time that I could be doing something else. Let me know in the comments below. Buy peeled garlic or a garlic bulb.
샀지?
뭐야?
이거
번개탄?
번개탄.
응.
야, 올리브유는 기름에 잘 안 타냐? 아니, 올리브 불에 잘 안 타?
당연히 안 타죠.
So just like Yoongi, we're going to start adding our chicken to the pan. Now you may notice that this pan is already dirty. That's because my husband wanted some fried chicken. So I fried some up for him. And now I'm going to use the rest of the chicken for the Dak-Bokkeumtang. And in general, when I'm going to be making stew of any sort, I always brown the meat first. The recipe doesn't call for it, but just brown the meat. It adds a depth of flavor that you're going to want in a stew, so brown the meat. One of the tips that the recipe has says, if the chicken has a smell or is not very fresh, parboil it by immersing it in boiling water before starting with this recipe. May I personally say, get new chicken. Don't parboil it. If it smells, it's bad. Don't risk it.
이 냄비를 걸려고 그런 거죠?
어.
근데
물 더
뭐
넣어?
할 거예요?
어?
우리
라면
아무것도-
끓인다며.
아 오케이. 제가 물 넣어드릴게.
우리 고기 라면 끓일래?
뭐도 좋아요, 형.
뭐도 맛있을 거예요. 좀 기름져가지고 맛있지 않을까, 고기 라면?
와, 넌
야, 맛있는 냄새.
와 냄새.
오케이, 이제 냄새 나네.
와 라면 냄새. 대박.
내가 이렇게 날 좋아 좀 봐, 진짜. 아니, 다 불 붙이는데 기부하지 말고 날 주라고 내가 할 테니까.
Now that we've got a good sizzle and a good sear, we're gonna add the seasoning. It smells so delicious.
혹시 그거 알아요? 어렸을 때 감기약으로 바로 있잖아요.
So just like Yoongi, we're gonna add our seasoning and we're gonna mix, and we're gonna add our vegetables. And again, use whatever vegetables you want. Can't imagine there's any bad ones to put in this. We'll cover it and bring it to a boil, and once it starts boiling, we're gonna lower the heat and let it simmer.
야 이거 졸으면 끝났다.
됐어요?
야 치즈 같은 거 없냐?
에? 형
알았어. 많은 거 안 바랄게. 미안해.
찾을 걸 찾아요.
치즈 같은 게 있겠어요?
형 치즈요? 치즈요?
떡. 야 떡 없겠지? 오케이.
떡이요?
그래. 야 라면 다 익었어.
먹자 먹자.
야 라면 거의 다 익었어.
뺄게요.
어우 야.
We're boiling away, and the deliciousness is just soaking into the vegetables and the chicken. So we're going to stir it up a little and make sure everything is being cooked. And then we are going to cover it back up and let it simmer.
여기 스케치북. 야야야.
야야야 하나 여기.
테이블 위에 오빠 올려놓으래.
스케치북.
괜찮아?
괜찮아.
나. 종이야. 얼른.
가이드북인데 근데 괜찮아?
괜찮아.
가이드북.
괜찮아.
야 가이드북을 씨.
먹자 일단. 라면부터 먹고 생각하자. 닭볶음탕 아직 남았어. 2차전 남았어.
맛있어? 어때?
시작이
괜찮아?
반찬이야?
괜찮아?
와.
맛있어?
너무 맛있어.
야 뿌듯하다.
와 너무 맛있어.
좀 짜서 그런가? 너무 맛있다.
죽인데?
짱 중국은 나요.
와, 이 라면 먹는 라면.
와.
내가 봤을 때 고기는 못 먹겠다. 아니야, 고기 먹을 수 있어, 뭔가.
That was hilarious that the boys had to eat ramen because the Dak-Bokkeumtang was taking too long. But in this case, we can eat the Dak-Bokkeumtang. And here we are. We've got perfectly cooked chicken, potatoes, leeks. It was so delicious. And of course, our rice. You can check out our rice video. It was the first one I ever made. This Dak-Bokkeumtang recipe, I think, was really good. It was sweet, it was spicy, it had just depths of flavor that were wonderful. And I would say I would add some mushrooms to this because I love mushrooms. But you know, we're following the recipe, so I did the recipe. But definitely I would add shiitake mushrooms to this. Mahalo nui loa for watching. If you've watched this far, then for sure comment below spicy chicken stew. You're amazing. Love you. Bye.